Hi and welcome to today's morning report with me, Rich Perry, market analyst at Tech Markets on Friday the 22nd of August. These European markets have started fairly flat actually, nothing too driving them, and that's basically coming as a consolidation has hit the trading ahead of the big Jackson Hole symposium that is going on in the States. But you've got the key speeches from Janet Yellen and Mario Draghi this afternoon for the basically to describe what the market is thinking is going to be pointing to monetary policy going forward. And we saw overnight Asian markets pretty much flat as well. There's not a huge amount to drive them because the states closed in just in all-time high territory, but just only slightly higher in the end, and not too much on the upside. So these markets are fairly consolidated, and certainly if you look at the VIX volatility index, it continues to fall away, which just suggests further confidence is growing in these stock markets once again as the geopolitical situation tones down in eastern Ukraine. And what we've also seen is a slight, as I said, ahead of that Jackson Hole symposium, a slight consolidation in Forex and the dollar. That strong move higher that we've seen in the last week or so in the dollar has just started to consolidate a little bit, and that's, as I said, coming ahead of that key meeting that could well define how monetary policy in both the Fed and the ECB is for the next month or so. Certainly, the expectations will be impacted potentially by these speeches. The expectation is that Janet Yellen is not going to be rocking the boat in any significant way. The Fed meeting minutes came out fairly hawkishly, actually, and also the recent data from the States has also been pretty positive, so that would point towards a possible bringing forward of rate hikes. But certainly Janet Yellen remains pretty dovish, and she's firmly in the camp of one at which the Fed has to see more in terms of positive data and improvements in labour markets and wage growth, etc. So she's highly likely to focus on those factors in today's speech. Mario Draghi, on the other hand, may well come out and start to lay the groundwork for potential quantitative easing, and if that happens, then the euro might see a bit of selling pressure today. But we'll wait and see how that one pans out. There's no real data out today other than Canadian CPI. That's at 1:30 today, and in UK time, that's 1.9% expected on that Canadian CPI. So nothing too big to be coming out of that, as it's just slightly higher from last month at 1.8%. Okay, my chart of the day is Euro Yen, and Euro Yen has actually been rising in the last few days as the euro has strengthened. And as I said earlier, with the improvement in risk sentiment that we've seen as the geopolitical tensions have begun to ease, and that has seen flight slightly away from the yen. Certainly, dollar yen spiking high, but also euro yen higher as well. And euro yen is on the brink of a move above this 138 resistance level. Now that was the peak that we saw back in early August, and it's almost to the pip. That was 138 spot on, and 137.90. No, 138 actually we have seen today. So actually spot on before we saw a slight correction. Now that is the resistance, and that is a resistance that guards a double bottom reversal. If you saw a move above there, that gives you an implied target of 139.60, 139.70. So that would imply certainly an improvement in the euro yen. But also, you look at this course over the past few months, this consistent selling pressure that we've seen, where you see consistent lower highs throughout But that lower high that we saw in early August, if that broke above 138, that would breach that lower high, and that would certainly suggest that we're turning around potentially. We haven't been above this 55-day moving average since early May, and at the moment we are trading around it and having closed above it yesterday. So that just suggests that there's an improving outlook there slightly. Also, you look at this RSI as well. It closed yesterday again at the highest since April. And again, that would suggest that the momentum is beginning to improve in this chart. So there are certainly signs of improvement for the euro here against the yen, and improvements is also taking this 21-day moving average now, which is in rising territory. So again, several indicators that suggest that this chart is beginning to improve. It needs to break above that 138 mark to complete the base pattern, and also pull above that resistance as well. But there is certainly something going on now in terms of support on the way back down. You would certainly say that there's a very minor support that comes in around about that 137.60, 65 area, and also just below there at 137.40 is a resistance, a support as well. So there are a couple of levels for you to play with there, but the main, on the intraday chart, the main support comes in at 137.10, around that sort of mark. But there certainly is room therefore to look to use a little bit of weakness possibly to go for a longer position, which should now test this 138 level. It looks as though that is the last real barrier towards a recovery for euro yen. So we'll see how that one goes. Anyway, I wish you good luck in your trading on euro yen today, and I will speak to you later. Thank you.